of you for coming here tonight to see our candidates for the Northwest District for the Lakeland City Commission race. They're going to be having a fine debate tonight, and at 8 o'clock, once the debate is over, we will have an audience Q&A where every single one of you will be given the opportunity to directly question the candidates in front of you tonight. Now, before we begin the debate and before I go on to explain our unique format, I'd like to introduce Mr. Kevin Rios of Just Dance Academy and also of Just Cares, which is a local nonprofit charity.
Hello, everyone. Everybody looks so happy today. My name is Kevin Rios. I am the president of Just Cares, which is 501c3 in the downtown area. The whole mission of Just Cares is one that is just pure straight to the heart, which is we offer programs, events, and classes free to the community to bring forth fine arts to people who might not be able to achieve it, whether it be through financial means, physical means, or so on. Some of the events and things that we do are the Suicide Awareness Week, which happens in September, which is our way to combat a growing issue that's basically taken over a large part of the United States, which is the amazing rate at which suicide is happening in and around the country. We also do other cultural events, just like Three Kings Celebration, which is in January, which our goal is to try to educate people who normally wouldn't get that type of culture in their own backyard, so to speak. A lot of the stuff Just Cares does is also tied in with the homeless population in and around the area. So there's a lot of different things that we do here to try to kind of make some sort of difference inside the community, the whole goal of which is to try to make some sort of an effort of difference. So we greatly appreciate you guys being here, and we once again thank our proud sponsor out here. And on that note, I'll pass it back.
Get a round of applause. Alrighty, so now is the time where I get to explain our debate format for everybody. So instead of the typical Q&A that happens with most of these events, we're going to spend an hour having a debate that's a little bit more similar to a Lincoln Douglas style debate format, which will grant our speakers the opportunity to really delve deep into their platforms and to really argue their case as to why they feel they should be your next city commissioner. At the end of this debate, we will have the Q&A. We do not filter any of the questions. We want the questions to come straight from you all, and you guys get to determine where that Q&A goes. With that said, we will start off with our opening arguments, where each candidate will have 5 minutes to speak. I will be keeping track of time. If you go over time, I will ask you to stop. If you do not stop, if you do that enough times, we may have to disqualify you from the debate. The rules matter, important here. That said, after we do our opening arguments, we will go to cross-examination, which is the fun part of the debate, where the candidates on stage get to take turns asking each other questions. So you guys get to actually engage with one another. Now, when you are asked a question, please do not take the time to filibuster. This is not the point of a cross-examination. The questions need to be quick and concise, and so do the answers. Once we are done with our cross-examination, we will move on to our rebuttals, and after our rebuttals, we will have our closing statements. With that said,
I've got a question.
Sure.
Will you, a timer, will we have a timer that us know we got a minute, 30 minutes?
I will hold up a finger when you have 1 minute. So with that said, starting off our opening arguments, we will begin with Commissioner Simmons, since he is the incumbent. And we have an issue with the audio? Volume?
Fixing it.
Fixing it? Okay, sweet. So we'll begin with Mr. Simmons, and then we'll go to Lolita, and then we'll go to Guy. And that's the order that we will take for each segment of this debate until we get to the Q&A, which that just depends on the audience.
Do we have a mic?
Yes, we will be passing around this mic.
Thank you. So good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Sam Stones. I am the current city commissioner, hold the seat of the Northwest District. I want to thank the Swan former and my opponents for agreeing to this debate. I'm seeking for the seat in a way that is much different from what I saw earlier. Earlier, the city commission appointed us. This time, I will be elected by the people. The first time, it is important for me that you know who I am and what I've done. I'm a husband and father. I'm a small business owner of Samuel Simmons Housing and Financial Services. I was the president of the West Park Neighborhood Association for 20 years prior to assuming the position of city commissioner for the Northwest District. I believe the biggest challenge we face as a city is the ability to mitigate the effects of growth on the quality of life in Lakeland. Growth augments the daily issues that we face both as citizens and as a city government. Lakeland is one of the fastest growing cities in the nation, and Polk County is one of the fastest growing counties in the nation. Certainly the fastest growing in the state of Florida. So how do we welcome growth and at the same time maintain the excellent quality of life and improve on the quality of life that we have? Our platform stands on the need for affordable housing, public safety, and overall an improved quality of life for residents of the city of Lakeland. Affordable housing means a great deal to me. With the rise of growth in the city of Lakeland, the need for housing has become apparent with the influx of new residents settling in our city. However, market prices have become cumbersome for the average hardworking citizen. It has led many to struggle between paying their rent and other necessities in life. The city provides leverage funds for developers who receive tax credit subsidy to set aside units for low-income families. I support and advocate for developers to apply for these credits in order to give more families an opportunity for affordable housing. I will always advocate for public safety. The relationship between public safety officers and the community is instrumental in keeping our neighborhoods safe and ensuring that emergency services arrive in a timely manner. The Lakeland Police Department's PAL program is doing a great job in providing a space for kids to develop their talents and have fun in a safe environment. However, due to the success of that program, they have outgrown the facility to need a larger space. To continue to positively influence the kids they are helping. Additionally, fire and rescue services are affected by the growing population of Lakeland. When it comes to emergency, every second counts. The need to install Station 8 on the north side of the city continues to be voiced as plans unfold to construct and equip the facility in 2 to 3 years. I continue to advocate for facilities and services to accommodate the growth we experience here in Lakeland. My goal is to improve the quality of life in the areas of growth management and economic development. I find the issue of growth management to be most intriguing because it affects all citizens in every quadrant of the city. Plans to address this growth includes monitoring and advocating for measures that would alleviate impediments to quality of life, such as reducing density in developments where overcrowding could contribute to traffic congestion, and the completion of the western trunk line, which contributes to the upkeep of the infrastructure. These are great examples of how growth affects the quality of life in Lakeland and the difficulties associated with growth that can be mitigated with careful planning and supervision. On the other hand, growth gives way to greater opportunities for economic development, such as emerging small businesses. Helping small businesses is a passion of mine. As I am a small business owner and co-founder the Central Florida Business Diversity Council, it is my belief that fostering and supporting small businesses contributes to the economic growth and diversity of Lakeland's unique charm. My intent is to continue to support small businesses in my second term as Lakeland City Commissioner. The sensitivity of a citizen advocate is the unique perspective that I bring to the current commission. Serving as president of Rapture Park Neighborhood Association for the past 20 years, and now the current, is that my time?
That's the door.
Oh, okay. Serving as president of the Rapture Park Neighborhood Association for the past 20 years, and now as the current city commissioner, I've had many occasions to address the city commission on issues that affect the quality of life of residents within our community. As such, I have adopted a personal philosophy on governance. I believe we govern honestly when we are able to empathize with those whom our decisions affect. Thank you.
I'll pass your mic over to
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the invitation. My name is Lolita Berrien. I'm a lifelong resident of Lakeland, Florida. I have 3 children, 5 grandchildren, and 16 great-grandchildren. I work for the Polk County Schools, and I work at Lincoln Avenue in Canby, and my tenure there is 27 years. I am currently involved in the community, code enforcement, Polk County Sheriff Volunteer, Lakeland City Police alumni, former member of the Planning and Zoning Board, and also a poll worker for many years. Also, I'm involved with Lakeland City Mission, Lakeland Citywide Mission, Webster Park South Association, where I'm currently the president, replacing Commissioner Simmons. And also I've worked with CROP, the assistant program at Polk State College. I also instruct students how to play the piano, along with exercise instructor. As your city commissioner, I will advocate for the citizens of the residents in the Northwest District and the entire city of residents. And my values of our citizens and my leadership towards them in integrity and commitment to excellence with the empowered workforce, including diversity and goals for our city. I have said this before, community and the city should be like a supporting tree. As your commissioner, I prepare to embrace and support the vision of Lakeland, which is to be vibrant, creative, innovative, and synchronize our thoughts while we brainstorm to make a positive difference culturally and be inclusive in a worldwide class community. The mission is to achieve an exceptional quality of life. Those 2 words are very powerful, inclusive, and to be successful, to achieve. Also, I'm concerned about the city's infrastructure, housing, and the homeless.
Good. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, or good evening. My name is Guy Milan, and I'm running for Northwest District City Commissioner right here in Lakeland. I've been a resident of Lakeland for about 44 years. I'm a U.S. Navy veteran, a small business owner, and I've lived and worked right here in the Northwest District for most of my life. I don't know why I stood up. I guess I'm so used to moving around. Some of the things that we have in real vision and real talking stuff. As a husband, and I have 7 kids, 3 grandchildren, and U.S. Navy veteran. I'm involved in the Polk County Housing Finance Authority. I'm involved in Kids Pack, which I chair, and many, many different local foundations here, either myself or my business has participated in. Tonight is about having real conversations about why you need to choose a certain person for a city commissioner. I myself is seeking representation of the Northwest District because I believe I have a strong presence within our district and the city of Lakeland. Some of the initiatives that are close and dear to me are small business, about fostering the right environments that support small businesses and all businesses alike. Either through collaboration and a strong focus on local sourcing, I'd like to see more public-private partnerships become involved. I'd also like to see the expansion of the CRA to include more of the Northwest District and bring it a little bit more west. I'd also like to see something like the county and the school board has is preferred local businesses program. I know we currently have something for veterans, but I'd like to see something for sheltered bid programs that would offer a little bit more assistance with minorities and women's small businesses, as well as local businesses like a preference. Infrastructure, that seems to be the hot seat these days. We have a lot of shovels going in the ground, and somehow our roads just aren't quite where they need to be yet. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, not just only with maintenance, drainage, and stuff, but we need more roads. We need some bigger roads. You come down Kathleen or that lovely road diet, you see the congestion that affects us each and every daily. It's a lot more than that, though. When it comes to infrastructure and with our current growth, we need to take a good hard look at our water and electrical resources, including sewer drainage address. Our citizens want more and deserve more public safety. In the last 22 years, we've only built 2 fire departments. We have Station 8 slotted, but as many of you well know, if you live out further or in the Lund Road area or Riverstone, there's already a need for a Station 9. So we're behind. We're behind. We are, as everyone knows, in the fastest growing area in the United States, one of the fastest growing cities and communities. So infrastructure is going to be a must, and there's a lot of hard work that needs to be done. Workforce development is something that's very dear and close to me. As a father of 7 kids, I have a couple of them that don't live here in Lakeland because they've sought better job opportunities. There's a lot more to workforce development than just training and trying to grow that. It's about attracting the jobs, the right jobs. We have enough warehousing up and down around Lakeland and County Line Road, but to bring the real jobs and the high-tech jobs that are going to pay the wages, that allow real competition in wages between Orlando and Tampa, let our children stay right here. So that's something that's very near and dear to me. It's a lot more than just attracting and retaining. We also need to encourage entrepreneurship, a lot more innovation, and just ensure that we're preparing for the future as Lakeland keeps growing. We're not going to slow down the growth, but with the proper growth management and ensuring that we have the right people in the right places, I think we can be successful moving forward. And thank you for having us.
First of all, let me say that I believe that each and every one of us is qualified for this position. All it takes is intelligence and passion for what you do. I think each of us has those qualities. And so we're not here to berate anybody, or we have an adversarial role. I like everybody that's up here. Praise God. I would just ask if anybody wants to, if either my opponents want to elaborate on what their position is on anything.
I just would like to say that you're correct. We are here. We feel the same about the city. The things that are being said are redundant. We care about growth in our city and the safety of each and every one of the residents and the citizens and the children, as well as the elderly, and how they are able to maneuver from medical facilities to grocery stores to be able to live in an affordable house, low income. So we all feel the same way about the city as far as the industrial buildings, northwest, southeast. There's really nothing to debate about between the 3 of us because we're on the same page. So I would just like to say, I hope that we will be successful, whichever one is chosen to be the next city commissioner, and we work together.
Thank you, Lolita. I know that may not be something you guys are used to hearing, but all 3 of us have gone through this for about a year now. All 3 of us were involved in the appointment process a little bit earlier last year, so we already know each other. There isn't really well, we may have some differences of opinions, and And maybe that's what you guys are gonna drag out of us, or whatever you wanna call it. But I do share a real love and passion for each and every person that's up here. It takes a lot of guts to run. You know, in a nutshell, it's you really put yourself out there, as I think everyone knows. Sam, Lolita, it's a real pleasure to serve with you through this capacity as we go. And it's something that we all share alike. If Sam's elected or Lolita's elected, I will be in their corner 100% to ensure that they're successful. And I would actually hold them accountable to help me and be boots on the ground if I'm elected. And if they don't call me, I'm going to go to their house. Because there's a lot of real work that needs to be done right here in the city of Lakeland. I know it's going to be hard in this particular forum to try to pick and choose like that. But you have 3 good candidates. All 3 candidates love Lakeland. They're very passionate about the Northwest District, as myself. A lot of people don't realize that I was actually raised mostly in the Northwest District. And I even started my business right down at the end of 10th Street and Bell Avenue. So, I mean, we've been here all around. So, we're going to pass this back and forth. Better up.
Okay. All right. I basically explained what my position is. And I'm here, my passion is to improve the quality of life for residents in Lakeland. And that's what I'm about. Go to the,
Lolita, if you have any questions for the other candidates, now's your chance to speak your piece.
No, I'm fine with the candidates.
And same as you would.
I know where every candidate stands. I'm going to steal this from you. In all fairness, AJ, all of us, we sort of rode this whole trail together for about a year now. You know, whether it's through the appointment job, each one of us continued with the campaigning. Well, other ones, they said, all right, I'm done with this. All 3 of us felt the urge through much prayer, through much debate with our spouses about what we're going to do and if we should do it. So, you know, if it's anything that we could do other than that, but I know where everyone stands. We're all seeking for that approval from the people of the city.
All right, get the mic back to Mr.
I believe if they think they're the best, they are the best. I think I'm the best. Each one, I'm not gonna try to make someone think that they're not the best. I mean, each person has a prerogative to pursue his dream or her dream as the city commissioner. And as long as they got the intelligence and the passion, go for it. Praise God. I think what has to happen is that the citizens of Lakeland has to decide, based on our qualifications, based on our background, based on our past, who is the best, whom they want to vote for. We go for it like that. I'm ready to move to my closing statement, if that's okay.
That's fine with me.
Okay, great. Praise God.
Amen.
Maintaining and improving the quality of life for Lakeland residents is of high priority for me as a city commissioner. What is quality of life? Quality of life is the right of every citizen to pursue the peaceful enjoyment of their lives in a practical manner without an interruption from exterior sources. I proposed to the city commissioners at our strategic planning session or retreat that all policy-making decisions should be filtered through the quality of life concept. The city government helps provide for quality of life standards through public safety, police, fire, and rescue services. Affordable housing is a quality of life issue. As individuals arrive in this city and are raised up here, it is incumbent upon the city commission to ensure that we have affordable housing and workforce housing. Infrastructure affects our quality of life. There are several street improvement capacity needs within the city of Lakeland. These include State Road 33 corridor, Providence Road to Kathleen Road to Grafton, Parkview to Granada, and many others. The major project that the city is working on is the Western Trunk Line, which is estimated to cost $51 million. What is quality of life? is ensuring that we have the necessary services and capital improvements in place for the residents of Lakeland. Quality of life is ensuring that we have adequate police to prevent drive-by shootings. What is quality of life? Quality of life is ensuring that our fire and rescue departments are equipped to dispatch services in a timely manner. What is quality of life? Quality of life is ensuring that we have sufficient infrastructure, which includes roads and wastewater facilities and apparatus to meet the needs of the current and growing population. Quality of life is ensuring that we have an appropriate plan to address homelessness in the city. Quality of life is ensuring that we bring industries with high-paying jobs and industries that create technologically skilled positions to attract a vibrant workforce in our city. Quality of life is ensuring that we are always at the forefront of economic development for Lakeland. Those things that I have spoken about, in some measures, I've endeavored to be about. When I speak about quality of life for the city of Lakeland, I spent over 20 years leading my neighborhood and addressing issues for community improvement. When I speak about the need for affordable housing, most of my career has been dedicated to the affordable housing industry. My doctoral dissertation was accomplished using affordable housing. I'm currently an affordable housing developer. What I've spoken about in my life, I tend to be about. When I speak about economic development, small and minority business development, I am the co-founder, the vice president, and executive director of the Central Florida Business Diversity Council, Inc., which is a networking organization of small and minority businesses. We actually opened about 11 years ago. When I speak about business development and entrepreneurship, I hold both a master's and a doctorate degree in business administration. What I speak about, I tend to be about. When I speak about city government, I have worked in city government starting in the early part of my career with the city of Lakeland. I hold a bachelor's degree in public administration and political science. In conclusion, my ultimate goal as a Lakeland City Commissioner is to improve the quality of life for the residents. With my acquired background, education, and experience, I will continue to work for quality of life improvements within the city of Lakeland during my second term. Thank you.
I apologize if we did not kick any dust tonight. However, I would like to advocate for the citizens of Lakeland in my closing statement. Some issues I am concerned about in our community and city includes infrastructure, jobs, transportation, traffic safety concerns, public transportation for workers, example, fixed bus routes, and artificial intelligence vehicles, recreation, equity of service within the district and Lakeland, affordable housing and low income housing to assist the homeless in our community. In saying that, as your next commissioner, I prepare to embrace and support the vision of Lakeland, which is to be vibrant, creative, and innovative as we synchronize the thoughts while brainstorming to make a positive difference culturally and being inclusive in the world-class community. Inclusive is a key word. We need everyone to come together and support the vision of Lakeland. The mission is to achieve an exceptionally quality of life, and to achieve is to be successful. We need to get things done to better the city of Lakeland, Florida. My goals as far as the city's goals are the same, lasting goals where things get better and not just change and revert back to what it was 50 years ago. Involvement and partnership and diversity in our community.
Thank you so much. Tough crowd, eh? Smile, people, it's not that bad. You're not sitting up here. I got a Mr. Microphone again, Terry. This is pretty cool. Quality of life. That's, Sam nailed it. Lolita nailed it. It's true. All those things are true, but Lakeland's so much more than that to me. Those are all wonderful things, and they're all true. But Lakeland is a brand. You gotta want Lakeland. You just gotta want it. It's a lot more than walking out in downtown and seeing one park and the beautiful trees hanging over Kentucky. It's really easy to catch yourself in those fields when you're walking down those streets. And then later on that afternoon, you're driving down that road and you're stuck in that traffic jam. Lakeland has some real issues, and we've been on autopilot for a little too long. We haven't really had real vision since the 80s, since the development of the RP Funding Center, the redoing of Lund Park. So many things have changed since we were just kids. Many of us grew up here, or started off as teenagers, and saw it grow. But in all actuality, we still somehow managed to keep that small town feel. Well, guys, the truth of the matter is that shovels are in the ground, the roads are getting congested, and real work needs to be done. It's not time for play anymore. I think any one of us up here is more than qualified to do the job. The reason why I'm asking you to choose me is, as much as I love these guys, I have a work ethic that I will not be outworked. If anyone knows me, you better bring your A game, because I won't be outworked. I'm steady as, I don't even know the word, but long story short, in this conversation, in order to have this vision, it's going to take a lot more than just a city commissioner. The city commission only allows you to have one vote. We have to be able to reach across the aisles to be able to have real conversations about real things that matter to Lakeland, not just the Northwest District, but all of Lakeland. But I represent Northwest District right now. That's the seat I'm serving in, and there's real issues going on. We need to end some food scarcity. There's a need for more grocery stores in that area. There's a need for congestion control. The shovels are in the ground, and we need to address the infrastructure, not just the fire station, but police. There's mandates that need to be put in place to ensure that we're doing these things. It comes down to the end of it, it's citizenship. I believe it's all of our job to ensure that we have the Lakeland that we want and the Lakeland that we need. And that's through you exercising very simply your right to vote. It's choosing the best city commissioner that you think will do the job. You already know that you're going to get 3 for 1, but you're going to have to figure out the one that's going to do the best job for you or the way you feel will best represent you. I humbly ask you for your vote. It is a true honor to be here tonight, and I'm very grateful and humble. Thank you, AJ, for hosting this. And I really appreciate both of you.
Okay, now as the moderator of this debate, I will be asking the first 2 questions. So my first question is actually directed towards the challengers, because we have an incumbent already in office. And my question is actually rather simple. If all of you agree on a lot of core issues, and you all agree that all of you are qualified and excellent to be in the position of city commission, why should we go through the process of electing you when we already have someone who is, in your judgment, already good enough? Either of you can take turns answer. Sure.
Well, I'll be honest with you, that's a pretty simple question. Because while all 3 may be equally qualified and maybe have a lot of the same ingredients and things, every one of us is still our own different individual, and we're going to apply our knowledges and our experiences different. That's what's the wonderful thing about being individuals. But to answer your question, frankly, it's every person has something offered different. I think I can offer a different perspective and a different lens, and maybe Sam can. I'm sure Lolita can add a different perspective and a lens. That's the reason why we have these debates, to answer your questions, for you guys to ask those questions, and you get the answer that you want that's going to best suit you to make the best intelligent, informed decision It's not about parties, it's not about anything. It's best who you think is going to best serve the city of Lakeland. If you like Sam, then continue to vote for Sam. If you like Lolita, then you need to vote for Lolita. But I'm right here, I'm telling you I'm your guy, and I'm asking you to vote for me.
To answer your question, AJ, I would say yes, we all three are qualified. However, I believe the citizens of Lakeland should make the decision of who should be the next Northwest Commissioner.
Thank you for the prompt answer. Okay, so I have a question from an individual that didn't manage to make it to the event. So I will go ahead and ask Mr. Simmons this question. No less than 6 senior leaders have retired or quit recently at the city government. What do you think is the issue?
Age, longevity.
That was quick.
I'll remember that when I decide to run.
All right. There you go.
And can you introduce yourself if you don't mind?
Okay, my name is Anna Rivera. I am the president and founder of the Puerto Rican Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Polk County, and I am also the deputy state director for women's affairs for LULAC, Florida. LULAC is League of United Latin American Citizens. It is a 95-year-old Hispanic civil rights organization. I moved to Lakeland in 2002, and since then, there's always been an issue about the homeless population. It's something that keeps on being pushed aside, and everyone always brings something to the table. Well, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, but I don't see the results on that. And homelessness is not something of a particular demographic. It is across the board, anywhere from a 16-year-old, could be Hispanic, could be African American, white, Asian, etc., all the way till their 90s. You're seeing a lot of that, especially in downtown Lakeland. My question to you is, what is your specific plan for the homeless, and how would you fund it, and how would you complete it? Because it needs to be complete within the time span that you hold that office.
Who are you directing it to, or do you just want all of them?
I want all three of them.
Okay. The reigning champ goes first.
You know, that's interesting. And when I see people, I've actually seen people drop individuals off who are homeless in our shelters in Lakeland, come all the way from Jacksonville and other parts of the state. Now, I don't know what the answer is. You know, I go to the Bible. The Bible says you have the poor with you always. And we do what we can to help people, to help the homeless, because they are the poor. We certainly have probably the best shelters in the state. That's why they're coming here. The city was asked by some of the shelter providers to come up with, to give them funds for day services, where they won't have to go to the Moon Park or other places, but to stay in those day shelters. And so that may be the answer. But I don't know the answer, to tell you the truth. I would like to know the answer. I think we need more research on it. We need to find the answer. But, you know, you will probably be asking the same question 4 years from now.
Mrs. Rivera, personally, I know that I wouldn't be able to solve that issue in 4 years. But I can say this, I would get started on it, and how I would do that is to go to the, I don't want to call them names, so I'm trying to use a different word. I would go to organizations who provide the information take information from the homeless to find out the reason why they're homeless. And if they're not homeless, there's a lot of empty buildings all over the city that somehow, some way, we can turn those buildings into places of homes for the homeless, to get them off the street and help them to get a job, to be able to survive and not be homeless, along with their children. And yes, some of them have animals. They all sit on the sidewalks, homeless, when it's raining and it's cold. So I can't say it will be accomplished in 4 years, but we certainly can get started with what can we do to make it better. Hotels that are no longer being used, they can be used for the homeless. Someone needs to take charge of the administrative part of that. Who's willing to step up and do it? Who's financially able to support it?
Thank you so much, Anna. Homelessness touches all of us, doesn't it? So we as citizens, and whether you're a Christian or you believe in stuff, I believe that we're supposed to serve all people, including the homelessness. The City of Lakeland has actually done quite a bit with the homeless here lately in the last year. Lieutenant Parker started a homeless coalition earlier last year. I think there's a few people in the room here that may have attended that meeting with me, where we gathered. There's at least 30 different organizations throughout the county, and we had real discussions. Did we solve anything? No, we did not. We had 2 general meetings. I believe Sarah Megan Walsh was there. She's probably one of the familiar faces I see. And we discussed. We had real conversations, real in-depth conversations about the service provided. And the reason why this became to fruition was a lot of the local police officers didn't have all the information that needed to provide the homeless people, whether in the park or someplace else. It's a lot more than just homelessness, though. You look at anybody going down the street, and they're one paycheck away from being homeless. What came out of this meeting was trying to develop a card where we could list all of our local services throughout the county. And currently we have Sharita Donaldson. I'm going to say this name wrong. If someone remembers that name right, is it Sharita?
Yeah.
Thank you. And she's in charge of the Polk County Homeless Coalition. And she has all the bells, all the whistles.
Bridget is in charge. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I know one's running this bad boy, and one isn't in charge of it. Thank you very much. I'm not good with titles. But here locally, one thing that seems to be an issue is, yes, we do attract homeless. And if for anyone here that does not believe that they're not busing homeless people here, then I encourage you to come down to the bus station. I'll meet you here, and we can watch them unload. That's how other cities, Tampa and Orlando, Jacksonville, deal with their homeless coalition. So something that people don't realize is you live right here in sunny Lakeland, Florida, and we are west of Ocala. Excuse me, we're south of Ocala. Even Publix doesn't put heaters in their stores north of Ocala. So we're ideal. It's warmer during the winters. We have more social services to offer right here in Lakeland. And the Homeless Coalition is doing their best to generally get all this information together and get it. There's still very much work to do. Lieutenant Parker, as much as he's trying to give up not doing it, we're going to hold him to the fire and try to come up with some real-world solutions. Something Samuel Simmons, Dr. Simmons was mentioning was the Talbot House. Well, they're requesting the city for additional funds to offer some type of daycare learning center in which we will insist that those people try to get their documentation in order. We're also working on offering assistance. Some of these people are just looking to go home. They legitimately want to go home, and that may be providing a means for them to go home, and sometimes that's a cheaper way. But it is definitely something that sits personally at heart, and I could probably talk forever on this because it's becoming more and more. But as a citizen, we also have a duty to our other citizens who are not homeless, who want to enjoy Mutton Park, who do not want to go down there and worry about fecal matter on the benches and stuff. And it's real, and I know that's a hard conversation to have. But in order to have real solutions, we need to have real conversations, real honest conversations about how we're going to resolve it. I don't think your government is going to be the complete solution. Ships, I believe we can make a big dent in it. it will be an ongoing thing. Unfortunately, this economy, there's more children that are homeless, families that are homeless, and it's adding up each day. So hopefully we can at least address it and put a dent in it.
Perhaps some of the commercial or industrial warehouses that they keep on building all over the city.
Alrighty, let's save our comments for when it's our turn to speak. Alrighty, introduce yourself and ask your question.
Hey, good evening. My name is Tyler Stephon Hayes. I'm the owner and lead designer of Verity Social Design Studio. You all mentioned we have Tampa Bay right there. We got Orlando right there. Tampa is #1 fastest growing area in the country. Orlando's #3. We're right in the middle, so naturally we're going with it. Despite being in the midst of all this growth, we have no support for our artists. There is a huge, a massive underground art scene here in Lakeland, in Tampa, in Orlando. And the reason it's underground is because we don't have actual practical support to not only express ourselves, but bring the soul to the city. So individually, what is your plan, each one of you, to engage and empower the artists within this community to bring the soul and the light to the city?
Alrighty.
I know that within the city, we have efforts that provide for arts, cultural arts. In fact, we just, in the current budget, 2024 budget, we provided funds for the museum, and we'll provide for next year about another $250,000 the following year. And so, I mean, I would suggest that you bring your request. If you have a request, make it specific, what you want and what you want to do, and bring it to the city. And we'll see. I can't guarantee you, but we'll see what we can do. All right?
Write your proposal and give it to the city, but you would have to call and get your name put on the document for that.
Those are all wonderful excerpts, aren't they? But it's not what you wanting to hear. And I understand that because I have a 23-year-old daughter who's looking for things to do here in Lakeland. As part of our workforce development issues, it's not just about attracting the best and most talented associates, it's also about keeping our college students right here. What you were talking about Tampa and Orlando, what you're being is you're being all-inclusive, including about 11 million people between here, Tampa, and Orlando. And we are the 3rd fastest growing city. If I'm wrong, don't quote me. But moving forward, you nailed it. You nailed it, and I'm glad that you brought it to life. It's going to be much work in doing that. My daughter looks for other things to do besides going to the rec room, all right? Because the rec room can't be just the only place here. We need to have more amenities that are going to embrace the local college students, the local artists, not just the painters. And while we do have a very wonderful culture and arts department, and Sam is correct, you should, and Lita and myself will all tell you the same. Yes, write up a proposal. And then try to go ahead and propose it to the city. See if you can request some type of funding, venue. We can talk one-on-one after this. I may be able to help point you in some directions because, believe it or not, there's a lot of, Lakeland being as rich and diverse as it is, there's a lot of cultural activities that are going on. They're actually looking for artists, whether it's through song and dance, painting. There's so many different avenues. But yes, we do need more of that. That's something that attracts our college students and give them more reasons to stay here. So that if I can go to Tampa and have a better nightlife. And I'm not saying that we need to have exactly all a better nightlife. But yes, it would be nice to see some better restaurants, a little more things for our students to have to do. Because I'm so tired of hearing my daughter say, I'm just going to go to the rec room. And at least I know where she's at. But more options is what weighs on her and her friends' mind as college students.
Yes, sir. Can I ask you a question, if I may, sir? What specifically did you have in mind?
Specifically, we need places and organizations that are actually going to cultivate and empower artists, especially people my age. Right now, every city organization, with all due respect, is full of people 60 and older. We need people who are going to actually tap into the younger generation of artists, hubs, community centers, areas where artists can come together, cultivate, work together, collaborate, and then do something with that work. So at the end of the day, we really need spaces, and not just spaces by name, not just a room in the back of a church, love God of course, but not just a room in the back of a church where we can meet once a week and paint for an hour.
Well,
Can we all ask you the same question? What type of art are you doing? What type of artwork are you doing? Are you a performer, singer? Sorry.
Are you talking about me personally?
Yes, sir.
So me personally, I own a social design studio. What we do is we work with nonprofits to develop community engagement materials for their fundraising. That's just one way in which we can practically get artists to use their work to actually impact social policy.
And I knew that because you told me, but I wanted you to say it out loud so you get it on the tape.
So I go back to what I said initially. You should write up a proposal. Let us see what you have in mind. It may be something that if the government can't do it, maybe some private entity can help us out.
And do you have anything in mind? Because, I mean, art being brought up and empowered in the city is not a new issue.
Do I have something in mind?
Do you have anything
Let's
in
see
mind?
what you got. Let's see what you got.
Well, respectfully, sir, I'm not running.
In fact, bring it to me, okay? Let me see what you got, what you have in mind, and we'll see if we can flesh it out those individuals.
Real quick, young man, we'll get that together after the meeting, but I'll put you in touch with Bob Donahue. He may be able to put you more in the right direction. He's over Parks and Rec and cultural areas. If anyone's gonna know it, Bob Donahue should be able to steer you. I would also take one of my cards and I'll see if I can assist you as well.
Okay, next question.
I want to go back to the homeless issue for just a second. I don't think the end point should just be that if we fix the problem to a good and just way, we're going to get more people coming in. So I do it. You know, come down to the bus and you're going to see them every day. So the better it gets, the more that come in, and we keep working harder and harder, and it's a circular argument. I don't think that's our answer as a community. I think we need to continue with this and develop a very substantial ongoing committee within the council. And that's what I'm for, a standing committee on homelessness that gathers the key players and works not to get this done in 4 years. I mean, some serious work. The idea we have buildings, we have people that are interested in a problem resolution. And I think we need to do it, just do it.
Did you have a question?
What's your question?
I feel like you're just
My
running
question
for office.
is, if any of you are elected, would you support a standing committee on the council?
I got you.
Absolutely. I agree. You know, just because problems seem insurmountable doesn't mean that they're unsolvable. I think we can do it. I think what has to happen is that we need to get started, and you never know what unfolds as you begin to work toward resolving the situation.
As I said earlier, we would need an administrative team, which is the same as a committee, to set guidelines, not for them to stay there forever, but to help them to get on their feet. And the door may revolve, but we can't just forget about them because they're people. And we don't know their reasons for being on the street. And some people may just want to live on the street, and that's fine. But I see what you're saying, other people coming in from other parts of the world to live because they know that there's a place for them to live. There should be stipulations and deadlines.
So once again, the work has begun. The work has begun. It's only started slowly, and yes, there's still much more work to be done. But yes, just like we had that same meeting at your house party, I think all of us are in favor of having a committee. It does need to come to fruition, and I do know that many people during that homeless coalition have sought to go further with it. I do know that there's plan on having a third one. Anyone whose name is on that list will get that invite to it. I will personally make sure that you get that invite, or you have a connector. So when that comes around,
So you would support a committee?
I 100% would support a committee. It's real issues. It's real issues that aren't going to go away in 4 years. Even if you think you're solving it, you have a very good and clear point. That's why it's a double-edged sword. It's a real hard conversation. You want to protect your taxpayers who want to enjoy the parks but can't use the parks either out of fear or just not wanting to be around that situation or have their kids around it. And we don't know, everyone is a different individual, but it's a real subject that needs to be addressed. And you're 100% correct. I would 100% support having some type of organized committee to see what we can do. And I think we've made some headways beginning, but yes, there's much work to do.
Next question.
Thank you. My name is David Ramos. As you know, Chad McLeod is the city commissioner, and he has been working with the Hispanic Advisory Council in addressing the issues of the Hispanic community in Lakeland. But I want to know from each of you, why should the Latino voter of Lakeland vote for you? What I mean is, what will you do as a new city commissioner to address whatever issues that the Latino community in Lakeland may have?
And just a general tip for the candidates on stage. From now on, moving forward with our Q&A, we don't want to hear bring it to the city commission or look something up. People are expecting direct answers and specific answers. So that is my one and only tip for tonight. I will give you the chance to answer first.
You know, I've actually been trying to reach out to the Hispanic community for about several months now, and I've gotten a few contacts. But I'd like to know, before they know what I can do for them, I'd like to know what they need. I'd like to know what the Hispanic community desires, what are some of their issues. And I think I spoke with someone in here earlier tonight to find out how I can reach out to them, reach out to the Hispanic community and find out exactly how I can get in contact with them and get a dialogue going.
The answer to that question would be that I would represent all citizens, all ethnicities.
Thank you, Mr. Ramos, for that question. It's amazing. A lot of people have those same questions. The Hispanic community is the fastest growing population here in Lakeland. Just recently, even at a Kathleen event, 46% of the population at Kathleen High School is Hispanic. It is the largest population at one of our city-owned schools. And we don't have a whole lot of those. But Kathleen has traditionally always been white and African American, and now with 46% of the students are Hispanic. It's no secret that I-4 and 27 corridor all the way to Solera is growing faster than anything in the world, and most of it is Hispanics. What I would do, and what I have done, I've always been involved in the Hispanic community, whether it's through festivals or engagement through people and friends, businesses and small businesses. I have a true heart for the Hispanic community. Anyone who knows me, such as yourself and your husband, we've always been involved in the Hispanic community and always wanted to do our best. For no other reason, well, Mayo did want some food. I personally wanted some good food, but yes, to embrace that community as it grows. So there's much work to be done. I appreciate you holding that forum where we were able to meet and discuss it. But we need to have more of those. To get the Hispanic people to vote, as what was shared, I think at that meeting, less than 4% are actively engaged as voters they just go with the status quo. I would be willing to work and assist you in your organization to rally that vote. But that's going to take work as all of us together to do that. Myself, you, you're probably the best organizer around, so in the community, so we need to make that happen.
Next question.
He looks too excited.
Yeah.
We had to hear from him last night too, so.
Good evening. I'm Terry Coney. I'm the president of the NAACP Lakeland branch. And I would like to follow on something on a discussion that was already going. It wasn't my original question, but I think it needs to be asked. And it goes back to the homeless issue. There is a homeless coalition, and it's a combination of the mental health with Lakeland Regional, the city, and the caregivers. But ultimately, if you became city commissioner, what would be the ultimate goal in dealing with the homeless problem? Because originally, Commissioner Simmons said he didn't know how to fix it. And Ms. Berrien said it couldn't be fixed in 4 years. But what would be the ultimate goal for the city of Lakeland? Where would you want to go with the homeless issue? Is it to get rid of all of them, to come up with some kind of middle ground? But if we're going to fix a problem, you have to have a goal that you're ultimately trying to get to. Again, that wasn't my original question, and since I'm following on, once you answer that, I'll get back to my original question.
Thank you. I've been to several meetings, and homelessness always comes up. I think, but I know what I will do is that we need to we have homeless providers within the city of Lakeland, and we have people with expertise on homelessness. We need to get together and come up with a strategy and work that strategy. I think that's what we started.
Oftentimes when I'm driving in the city of Lakeland, I'm tempted to stop. And I know that's not safe for me to do as a woman alone in a vehicle. But I feel like we need to get the homeless together at some place, somewhere, get their names, take their information, find out how long they have been homeless, and then we can come up with a plan as to what we can do as far as age groups, families with children, or just single men. I don't know. But it's something that we would need to brainstorm about, and it's only else I can come up with. We have to start from the beginning. We can't just jump and put them in a place. We need to find out the specifics, organization, a plan, come up with a plan to communicate with the homeless. Do we ever communicate with them? We just look at them, pass, ride, drive by, put some money out the window. We need to do more. And there's a lot of land in Lakeland where that can be done. Give them time limits. Food banks can feed them. Kitchen could be inside the building. I don't know. We have to come together as a commission board to decide what we can do.
Thank you. So the beginning work has begun. I believe we've had some beginning conversations through the Homeless Coalition. It needs to be further discussion. And I understand exactly what you're asking, Terry. What's the end game? What's the results? What are you going to do as a city commissioner? You still haven't heard that answer. And I understand that as well. It's a tough question. I believe there does need to be a committee. I'd be in support of that committee that Kay and I have discussed before. And I think that committee should be assigned, at least have one or maybe two city commissioners, as well as public-private partnerships, sit on a board and work closely with the Polk County Homeless Coalition to make sure we have the best use of the services that we already have in order to create some type of end game. And while that game is going faster each day, I can assure you as a city commissioner, I would make it a priority to ensure that we're getting the proper communication. The people who are dealing with it directly right now are police officers. You know, these guys are the ones that see them each and every day. It's our city workers that go to the park. I will invite, once again, anybody who wants to meet me at 6 a.m. at Mont Park, and I've done this on more than one occasion, and you will count no less than 9, 10, 12 people. And as much as I love the homeless vets, there's many different situations. Our citizens have the same right usage to those parks, and that needs to be addressed as well. Originally, we had over 32 benches and 10 tables. There's now 16 benches. If that number's wrong, I apologize, but I know it's somewhere around there. I know that Sean Scharouse had benches removed and the tables removed. I'd like to see those come back. I enjoyed having picnics when my kids were little. I have a granddaughter right now, and I'd like to enjoy to do that again. I promise you that we will do something. We will have real conversation and real solutions.
And if you indulge me, AJ, I'll get back to the question that I was originally going to ask. You all mentioned affordable housing as an issue in the city. Okay. This is a three-parter. How do you define affordable housing? Why is it a problem? And what's the solution to the problem if it's a problem?
And for this one, let's just keep it concise. He has very specific questions. We want specific answers.
Affordable housing is when a family pays no more than 30% of their income for the living expenses.
The next part, why is it a problem? Why is it a problem in Lakeland, and how do we resolve that problem? Because you mentioned that affordable housing was an issue.
Right. It's a problem in Lakeland because people can't find enough affordable housing for their families.
Wow. The prices have gone up.
Why? Because prices are going up. The median market rent rate is $1,700. The national median for rent is about $2,100 a month. So although we're below the national median, we're still above what the average working family can afford. What's your third part of your question?
How do you fix that problem?
That's the $1 million fix. How do you fix affordable housing? Well, one way is to make housing more affordable. I mean, you got your housing authority with your Section 8 programs. But the problem is that, and I just heard, and I'm trying to be short, but as soon as that waiting list is open, before the day is over, that waiting list has been closed because of the number of individuals seeking affordable housing. You have the tax credit program where developers are mandated who receive tax credits to set aside a certain number of units for low-income families. That's affordable housing. But you don't have enough of them. We need more of them. So if we get more of them, that'll help with the situation.
The number one answer I have is low income. Families not being able to go to work so they can work. And the prices of rental is extremely high. We can't afford it. So therefore, that's why it's holding up, I would say. And we know that we're not a part of the county making the decision about the taxes for the residents that do own homes. So, that's my answer.
Thank you, Terry. That's a very good question. So as Dr. Samuel Simmons mentioned, the average rent in Lakeland is anywhere from $1,750 to the median range of $2,100. There's nothing too much affordable about that. The average house cost is somewhere around $300,000. Once again, not really affordable. So there's a lot more issues going on these days and age for a builder to even build apartment complex. And I actually sit on the Polk County Housing and Finance Authority Board. Something I learned is that there could be 7, 8, 10 loans involved in this, where they're getting their tax credits and selling their credits. And yes, there's guarantees and provisions that allow either for 20% or 40% to be reduced or Section 8 housing within these apartment complexes. However, that's still not enough. It's still not enough. Some people would also say dense housing would increase it, or workforce housing. And while those are all answers to me, I feel like you're throwing a dart at a board. To me, part of this problem is there's not enough pay. Everything is going up through the inflation and stuff, and no one's addressing the wages and stuff. And while you have your bottom classes going to $15 an hour and stuff, the current wage here in Lakeland is roughly $46,000, if I'm not mistaken. If I read on the LEDC board, 46,475, if I'm not wrong. We need to raise that.
Medium income.
The medium income. Thank you, Terry. So why is our median income stagnant? We've got the warehousing and stuff up and down I-4. We've got it all over the Northwest District. But there's not enough high-tech paid jobs right here in Lakeland. And that goes right back to workforce housing and infrastructure. So there are companies right now that have actually tried to build. And I don't know the name of that company, but it was off of Drainfield Road. And we could not provide enough electrical resources for them to complete their project. So they didn't do their project. That project was going to provide over 100 high-paying, skilled jobs with over 40 staff positions as well. So those 40 staff positions are your average median income of $22 to $15. But those high-paying jobs, those are the people that can afford those. You start bringing better wages, better jobs, you're going to compress that gap. But if you're looking for a solution to affordable housing, it's going to be a lot more than just dealing with it. It's in the city of Lakeland. It's a real economy issue. You got to get that compression gap, wages need to come up, and you need to give a little bit more incentives, because right now it's actually costing more to build. That builder who builds a house and charges you $2,000 for rent for a 2-bedroom, he is not making money on that apartment. And that is factual. I will put you in touch with that builder. And it's sad. So with those tax grants and stuff, those are wonderful, but I think a lot more needs to be done.
Hi, my name's Maria Gallo. I'm an attorney for legal aid, and I'm on the front line of that affordable housing and poverty issue. So my question is going to be about housing and the homeless. I'm happy to hear you say private-public partnerships. I'm a big fan. I want to know what you city commissioners see in the foreseeable future in promoting the public-private partnerships to build affordable housing. Noah's Ark, for example, on our northeast corner here, has a 3-year wait list. I know because one of my 17-year-old wards is waiting for placement. There's a 3-year wait list also for persons with disability. I can't get her a place to live. I want to know more about these private-public partnerships.
There are public-private partnerships. I think what we need to do is just research. Anything that we propose to do is already being done somewhere else or has already been done. We just need to do the research. We don't need to remake the wheel, so to speak. But there are public-private partnerships with housing, affordable housing, as well as disability housing that's out there. We just need to do the research and find out where it is and how we can bring it to Lakeland.
I'm experiencing the same thing you're speaking of right now as far as a child not being able to get into Noah's Ark, so I understand that as well. But the public-private partnership, I feel like if they wanted to be a partner, they would be. And I know that there's resources available or questions
a way that these private, public property partners could participate if they desired to?
Thank you. To bring in light of what you're saying, it sounds like you have a vision. Okay, well, that's how that public-private partnerships is with you. It starts with you. You have a vision and you want to eliminate something. It seems to me like you want to do something very directed towards special needs or anything in that matter, but you're the one that has the vision. In order to have that vision and to make it come to fruition, you're going to have to come up with, literally, and I'm not telling you to bring a proposal to the city, because that's certainly not what I'm telling you. And I'm also not telling you not to do that. So you've got the vision of what you want to do, that you need to elaborate on that, bring it to fruition, and then in order to have that public-private, then you would come before either the commission or approach a private business and sort of make it a goal. A good example is today, the Center for Breast Cancer Awareness, they wanted to have a grand opening. Well, that was something that had already been started, but someone wanted to bring that to fruition. In order to bring that to fruition, they reached out, they knocked on doors, they got a hold of public charities, they got a hold of this person, say, hey, this is something that I would like to do within our city. Can you help me? So that's how you get the private part, and sometimes when you deal with Lakeland stakeholders, some of your larger companies, knowing who your personal city commissioner is, calling him up because he's available and accessible 24/7. You call me, I'm going to answer the phone, I'm going to say, you know what, where do you want to start? And I may not be able to steer the whole road for you, but I can certainly try to put you down the right road and assist you. And that's whether it's driving Miss Daisy or driving legal aid, we can certainly make it happen. But it has to start with just as simple as what you are. You have a dream, you have a vision, you want to bring something to fruition. If it's specifically like Noah's Ark, expansion of Noah's Ark, creating a doggy park, everything is done through having a vision first and then finding the funding. But public-private partnerships is getting that want, finding that right specific private partner that says, you know what, I like what she's talking about, I can get on board with this. And then work with the commission, we can help find that one that's going to mesh with you.
The reason why Noah's Ark worked was because the city donated the land.
Correct.
That's what we need.
It was given to the land, but then through public-private partnerships, the funds were granted. Public charities was a large asset of that.
Alrighty, so did you say you had a follow-up, or?
No, that was my follow-up.
Oh,
I want
okay.
to know if the city of Lakeland would partner in the fact that giving land for that purpose.
That may be something to ask.
Maybe not for
CRA.
Noah's Ark, but for other affordable housing, for some of the homeless population. The homeless population is complicated because it's not just people. Some people choose that lifestyle. Some are mentally ill, some are veterans, some are just simply displaced. So we need land to be able to build affordable housing for these people.
See, if I may, that's where the public,
And public housing.
the providing of land is actually where the public aspect of that partnership comes into play, where governments provide land and then private entities provide the building. That's the partnership right there. That's the arrangement to do an entity for, say, the disabled.
Alrighty, we have 10 minutes left, so I want the answers to be quick and concise, no filibustering, please. When someone asks you a question, answer it. If you don't have a direct answer, simply say you don't know.
Hi, my name is Robin Cohen, and I am one of the founding members of the Cosmo Project. We are a nonprofit that shows up to Munn Park every Sunday at 11 a.m. to distribute food, clothing, snacks, hygiene products, so on and so forth, shoes, whatever we can come across, school supplies even sometimes, for our homeless community. We do this not to cause a ruckus, even though the city believes it's some political show. It is not, it is anything but. We formed to meet a need that was not being served by this city. People are very quick to praise things like Talbot House, Lighthouse Ministries, and in all fairness, they do good work, but it's not enough. And people are very quick to assume that Talbot House, they allow everyone to come there. They will solve the problem. Look to Talbot House. Talbot House, there's more sexual and physical assaults that go on in Talbot House than there are in most jails. There is no security there. Basically, as they say, the inmates are running the asylum, right? The people that have mental illness, that have been in jail, that have been in prison for robbery, attempted murder, actual murder, so on and so forth. These are the people that are supposed to be securing other homeless residents at this facility. And it's an outrage. And women, if you're a single woman, you have nowhere to go. Talbot will let you there, but again, I just explained the conditions there, why as a single woman would I want to go there. Lighthouse will not allow you as a single woman. You have to have children with you. So we have a very serious gap. In Talbot and Lighthouse, they are not given clothing on a regular basis that fits them. They are not given shoes on a regular basis that fit them. The food they do provide is not appetizing in the least bit, I will say that. I have eaten it myself and I honestly had stomach aches after it. That is not an exaggeration, least bit. A lot of people have gotten sick from the food. I work with Bridget from our Pope Coalition, and she has told me that she and her team, Sharita, her assistant, have actually set forth a proposal they put on the mayor's desk to build a daycare center, because for years we've all been looking to Lighthouse and Talbot, the same two organizations, to fill this need and build a daycare center. They seem to have a lot of money to do a lot of things, but not actually build out and build better infrastructure for their existing ministries today. So Bridget and her team came up with a good, solid foundational plan to build a day center and have it funded by the city. She brought this to the mayor and I believe the downtown district authority and some other folks, and it has been sitting there in silence. And this is the best laid out plan we have had in Lakeland, and trust me, I have been working on this issue for a very long time. This is the best plan we have had, and it's executable and it's doable. And it is sitting in silence because the mayor and associated people and staff don't believe that this is a big enough issue to warrant it. And instead, to your point, Guy, we're building dog parks. I love dogs. I have 3 of them. I love them. They're my favorite. We're best friends, my family. But we have a lot of dog parks. I was outraged at the last town hall meeting a year ago when they actually had asked the citizens, would you like a human chess set in Munn Park? Would you like another dog park in Munn Park? Would you like this? Would you like that? And we all stood up and asked, well, what about the people that spend their time there? They're there because both shelters kicked them out of their shelters at 6:30 a.m. and they're not allowed back until 4:30 p.m. They have nowhere else to go. Why would they want to walk so far? Munn Park is right there. We have beautiful parks. They have nowhere. So my question for you is, knowing that this proposed plan exists and is literally on the table as we speak, will each of you, outside of the city commission position, will each of you promise to go and write to the mayor, go speak to the mayor, go speak to your constituents, I know you guys all have lots of connections, to get support for this day center to get built? Because we have a plan, we have a way of doing it, and I know we have the funding, but for some reason it's just been sitting there, wasting away, while people are literally dying. So I would greatly appreciate it as a citizen of this community and as someone that routinely advocates for our homeless community. Please support this day center. Please write your city, write the Parks and Rec staff, write anyone, I don't care. We need to show the government of Lakeland that this is a substantial issue, and there is a solution, and the people are behind it. And I honestly challenge everyone else in this room to please do the same. We need a solution, and you all seem to, care about this, and I agree, and the housing crisis is a big part of it. So please, let's work together as a community, and let's solve this problem.
I believe her question was if you would promise to address this issue and to speak to the mayor about it if you are elected. Simple yes or no, do you guys promise?
I can't, as a commissioner, you can't speak to the mayor. You have sunshine laws. So, but we can certainly broach the issue with the city manager. In fact, the issue has been brought to our attention. We have one-on-ones with the city manager who told us about this daycare. You'll be surprised to find out that some people are opposed to it for various reasons. So it's something that has been brought to our attention, to the city commission attention. I will make further inquiries as to where we're going now.
I can only say that at this point, I hear what you're saying, and I will take it in consideration for the future movement or whatever happens in Lakeland.
If elected, I would look at your proposal. I would be totally talking out of turn saying, because I have not seen that proposal. But you know my heart towards homeless. I think it's something that needs to be addressed, but I also think we need to address both sides of the issue as true citizens. But certainly would love to see the proposal. Whether elected or not, you can reach out to me. You know how to get a hold of me.
I've got a question for you. If we were to create or provide the funds for this day center, would it solve the problem of homelessness?
The problem of homelessness is a global issue. We can only control what's in our own backyard. We can only control our own destiny.
Would it solve the problem of Lakeland?
I think her point is that she wants to alleviate the problem, maybe not completely solve it. It doesn't have to be a false dichotomy. We have time for one quick question. Here you go.
So I've been a community advocate for years, and I'm only 19, just to preface that. And what I've been hearing a lot in our public school system in Lakeland, and just our community in Lakeland, is a lack of support for LGBT students. Almost every single score. My name is Matthew Grocholski, and I've been at the school board every single meeting. I know it's a completely different entity. However, trans kids are literally dying in Polk County through suicides, through improper mental health counseling. I want to know how you, all three of you, would vote in proposals of proclamations. And also, what I would like to know is if you three would go on the record to condemn the recent Nazi movement in Polk County. I know, of course, you're probably not sympathizing with them, but we need office, makers, legislators that are actually openly condemning it, because if we don't have those voices at the table and also address it directly in our offices, then people are going to die. So I just want to know your stance on proclamations on condemning the Nazi movement right now that is going on in Polk County, because they literally showed up at the school board meeting where we voted to remove proclamations. Somebody had a swastika attached to his hat. They've been leading to students in Polk County feeling like they are alone. How could that even happen? Why can a 65-year-old man tell a 16-year-old trans person, you don't matter? How can that happen in Polk County? What would you do to address it in the Lakeland City Commission?
Alrighty, let's keep these answers very quick. This is the final question of tonight.
I understand, but it's not a city commission matter.
Yes, I know, but at the same time, you're in adjacent office. You, at the same time, would vote on things like proclamations. You would vocalize your own individual support. What matters is community officers engaging against this hatred, this bigotry. It's vocalizing your support as a community member and community leader.
I mean, obviously, and I can certainly say this without any hesitation, is that, I'm not in favor of Nazism or any kind of oppression against people.
My answer would be, I need to research what you've said. I know there is an issue with this and that, so I can't comment.
I fear nothing, I'll answer you. So citizenship is hard. You gotta really want it. Citizenship is hard. As a U.S. Navy veteran, I know many people who've shed blood, tears, and sweat to wave a flag and say that they love everything about America and myself love everything about Lakeland. It gives someone else, as much as I begrudgingly say this, it gives that same person the same right to preach and protest against everything that you hold dearly and hold close to you. And that's the hard pill to swallow about citizenship. You gotta really want it. America makes you work for it. You're a young man, but you seem like you're a lot smarter than 19 years of age. So right now, you're having a hard time grasping that part of citizenship. It affects so many different people. It's a lot more than just the diversity between people. Diversity is being diverse in all manners, not just culture, not just in opinions, sexualities and all that stuff. It's not, it's a lot more than that. You gotta want it. Everything that you love and everything that you can't stand, someone else supports. I can tell you honestly, as a young man, embrace citizenship, keep fighting the fight that you choose to fight, and don't stop. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you there's lots of things I don't support. Lots of things. Proclamations, do they still vote on those? Aren't those done by those are just done by the mayor?
No.
I know there's discussion.
I think what the school board stopped.
Correct. I'm personally, if I'm being honest with you, I'm here to do business. I'm here to represent the city of Lakeland. I've never been really pro-choice, or when I say pro-choice, I'm referring to proclamations. I'm not pro-proclamation. I think there's too much more to focus on. I think we can recognize people and stuff. In reference to your Nazis and stuff, as long as they are organizing civilly and legally, they have that legal right to do that. But I understand where you're coming from. Go ahead, elaborate. Let him talk. He's being real.
So,
if you don't mind, sir, I apologize.
Yes. So,
we all talk a lot about community, unity, stuff like that, and I get every perspective, but proclamations and just declarations of support are not at all changing curriculums. They're not changing agendas. What they're doing is displaying to a set community that they're supported, they're loved by Lakeland. That is what the fundamental issue is. And also, proclamations, they directly highlight what community organizers and organizations have done in the past few years that have been positive for Lakeland, that's been positive for Polk County. So when we talk about proclamations, we're actually really talking about highlighting the success that we've had in these communities. I know everyone at this table really wants a unified Lakeland. I know that. I know that they want representation for all people, but proclamations are a way to help foster that. It's never been an issue until the CDF and other organizations stepped in and said no. But students, their opinions at every single meeting for proclamations across the whole county, from every governing board, they said overwhelmingly that we support proclamations. It's not just for LGBT people, it's for things like Child Abuse Prevention Month, which should not at all be an issue.
All right, well, that'll be it for tonight. We ran about 5 minutes over time. Everybody please thank the candidates for exposing themselves to this type of criticism, and hope all of you go get involved and go vote this election in November. Thank you for coming.